Hi, it's Sharon Tzib with Remax Universal and the lifestyle brand Houston Knows. Thanks for watching my video today, and while you're here, if you wouldn't mind subscribing to my YouTube channel, that would help me out a lot. Today's topic is, do you really need a real estate agent when you're purchasing or selling your home? Now, I think maybe a better question is asking yourself if you can afford to not have one. And what I mean by that is, let's just use a quick example. For instance, you could probably cut your own hair, right? I mean, you could do it. But are you going to like the end result? Are you going to end up horrified? And will you probably ultimately go to a professional to correct it? And after all that, you've probably spent way more time, angst, and money than you cared to. That's just one example, but that's kind of the equivalent of what people do when they try to DIY a home sale or purchase. Now, for my buyer clients, and I don't really have that many buyer clients that try to DIY, but they've come to me after having done it. So this is where I get the information from. They really just didn't know better. They just had no one to basically educate them or hold their hand. So they decide they want to buy a home and they see a pretty house. They like the curb appeal. There's a sign in the front. They call the sign. They get the agent that answers. And the next thing you know, they kind of feel like that person is probably not helping them with their better interest in mind. And they're right. So when you're buying a home, it's really important to have an agent on your side. When you call a sign and you talk to the seller's agent, you are talking to someone who is contractually obligated to the seller to negotiate in their best interest, not yours. So using them is kind of like hiring the prosecutor to defend you at your trial. It's really just a bad idea. When you get your own buyer agent, not only is there no cost to you because buyer agent fees by and large are paid by the sellers, you're going to get the advantage of all their years of experience. So they can give you good information about the home, whether they see any flaws or resale issues, whether they think it's in a good location, that kind of thing. You're also going to get the benefit of their negotiating experience. A good buyer's agent is writing a lot of offers, and they know what the market's like at any given time and how to write an offer to get accepted. So having a buyer agent for that is really invaluable, and they'll be writing it on your behalf, by the way. And you'll also get to take advantage of all of their vendors. So when you're buying a home, it starts with a good lender. They can send you to a lender to get pre-approved, so you can make sure you have that in place before you go looking out. You want to make sure you know what you can afford. And they also can help you get inspectors, title companies, all those things. So for a buyer, those are some of the benefits of having a buyer agent. Now on the flip side, if you're selling a home, a lot of sellers will try to sell on their own initially. And I see it a lot more in a hot market like we've been having the last year and a half. Seller looks at how quickly homes are selling and how many offers they're getting, and they think, I can do that. And, some do. About 7% of all homes sold in the United States do sell for sale by owner, or FSBO as we call it in the biz. And while that may seem like a small number, it's kind of a big number when you put into perspective how many home sales there are in the United States. So yes, some sellers are successful, but the 93% that don't, some of them did start out trying to do it on their own and ended up abandoning it, and the rest just kind of know better. The things that kind of trip up sellers for the most part when they're trying to sell is, first of all, they really don't know how to prepare the property properly. They don't know much about staging. They don't know what buyers want, so they don't really get the home prepared correctly, and that hurts them when buyers do eventually find them and go look at the home. The other thing they don't know how to do for sure is price the property. And one of the reasons for that is, unless you're talking to a real estate agent, you won't have accurate comparables on a home in Texas, because Texas is a non-disclosure state. So unless you have an agent pulling comparables for you, they're not public knowledge. And if you're relying on his estimate, folks, that's a whole nother video, but that's not accurate pricing either. Zillow doesn't have access to those sold comps either. And then the third thing that they struggle with is the paperwork. I mean, they just get overwhelmed by all the legal ease in paperwork. And, you know, there's some other things they struggle with, like having strangers stream through their homes. I mean, I've got a house right now in the market. We have had 80 showings in 4 days and 11 offers. Could you imagine a novice trying to handle that? That's just overwhelming even for an experienced agent, and you know, let alone someone who's never done this before. So I just do not think it's a good idea to try to sell your home on your own. It's a case of you don't know what you don't know. So that's why a lot of for sale by owners don't work out. But those are just a couple, you know, I just wanted to give you some, you know, both sides of the coin, so to speak. And if you are trying to do it yourself and you're ready to give up, feel free to come on over and give me a call and talk to me, and I'd be happy to help you with any advice you need. So this is Sharon Tzib with RE/MAX Universal in the Greater Houston area, and thanks for listening.